Hello and welcome back to Clash of the Titans, game number 3 between Riut and Yellow. Score currently lies at 1 apiece. First game going to Riut in the Arabia Hun War. Second game going to VNS Yellow in the border dispute. And game number 3 is going to be once again a Clash of the Titans between these two guys. And it will be a Great Lake game, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, it is. It's Great Lake. Going to be pretty fun indeed. And who have we got? Well, down to the south of the map, playing in blue as the Vikings, we do have Tyrant Riut. Up to the north of the map, playing as Vikings as well in red, we have got VNS Yellow. And this is going to be a pretty fun game, I am sure. This is a very interesting map. It's kind of like Baltic mashed together with Coastal, and it's pretty fun. I believe it's going to be mostly based around galley rushing this center lake, as it would be with Baltic, but you've also got to remember that you do have a passage here on the left hand side. The right hand side is impassable by land units, but also you have got fish around the back of the map, so it's going to be very important that both of these guys understand the map before they build their dock. And this is why in these kind of maps you really have to know the map before you really start playing it. Of course, whoever docks in the back gonna have a pretty unlucky time or a bad time. Hopefully they both dock in the center so that it's fair, but it's really gonna come very much down to who can do the fastest feudal time and start pumping out those galleys, as of course galley rushing this center lake going to be so important. Walling off on the left hand side, certainly going to be a possibility as well, and we may see them both patrolling their scouts over there. Right hand side, as I say, impassable, so left hand side is the only way through for land units, which does mean that sneaking going to be a little bit more difficult to do. Perhaps we'll see a wall off there, maybe scout patrolling. Either way though, it's going to be a pretty fun game. So far then, obviously, with it being 1-1, it could really go to anyone at this stage. Of course, this is 5 games. It's not a best-of series. And being tied up, it could go either way still. Riut then, building a house on the front, going to build his dock in this center lake, which is the exact right thing to do. And I do believe this is VNS Yellow's home map, so he too will be building his dock in the center of the map right now. And as I said before, it's going to be so crucial to get up to the feudal age in a good time, and that does mean being extremely efficient, making sure that you don't get population blocked at all, making sure that your villagers are not idle at all, and just making full use of them wherever possible. Now Riut going to have a slight advantage already due to taking that deer early in. You probably did see him right there, pushing the deer even towards his TC, and that is going to give him a little bit of a food boost, which is so crucial in this kind of map. And getting up to the feudal age just a few seconds earlier and starting to make those galleys can really make a huge difference. So dock out for Riut right now, and the first fishing ship on the way. Pretty quick to come up actually, a little bit faster than Yellow. Yellow gonna make full use of that villager, taking the shore fish right there as well. And Riut bringing his second boar in right now. Yellow already got his second boar in, but he's got quite a lot of food left on this first one. So it does look like so far, Riut being a little bit more efficient so far at this stage of the game. No population blocks for either of them just yet, and completely finishing that first boar before he goes on to the second. Really well done by him, and completely safe. Of course, the last thing you want to do on a map like this is get loom so early on, and neither of them with loom at the moment, which is very important indeed. And Riut right now, he could, if he wanted to, start to push these deer in, and both of them go for a little bit of a scuffle with the scouts instead, and that is only going to end badly for one of them. It doesn't really matter who at this stage, because it's all about the water. 3 ships out for Riut, well, 2 ships out, third one on the way. Only 2 for Yellow right now, and I think he made a little bit of a mistake there. he continued to take the shorefish with this villager. And now, it's not so bad taking shorefish. They are a very fast source of food, but it would be a lot more efficient for Yellow to start taking the sheep with this villager under the TC. So a little bit of a mismanagement by him right there. As he continues to take the shorefish, he really should notice that villager very soon, because that is costing him a little bit of time. Also to note at the moment, he's only got 4 villagers taking wood, which does mean that he's actually lacking the wood he needs to actually make that third fishing ship right now. But he's going up to the feudal age, as is Riut. But interestingly enough, Riut with the 3 fishing ships, the 4th one just coming out, Yellow only with the 2, and the 3rd one just coming out right now. Also, spending villager time putting the palisades up on this left-hand side does mean that Yellow is going to be a little bit worse off going up to the feudal age in terms of resources. If we have a look what he's doing right now, transitioning all of his villagers onto wood, so it seems like he's going to go with a grush, but the interesting thing is, he's actually snuck a villager through, and that could be huge if he manages to pull something off. Riut then, a little bit more of an efficient feudal age, going up with 25 population, slightly sooner, not really a huge difference in that at all, and managing to take out Yellow's scout there as well. But Riut now starting to wall off right here. But Yellow has the sneak. He's going to be in the back of Riut's base, but the question is he going to be able to really build up right here? He's not going to build up at the back. No chance of that happening. He could throw up a tower, perhaps. Right here could be good. It would throw Riut off of wood, and it would also mean that he has to spend 100 wood even, on making a new lumber camp. But he's going to keep walking on by. And maybe he's going to come over on this right-hand side, perhaps, and build an archery range or something along those lines. Either way, going to go straight onto the water right now. And that first galley coming out for both of them. Third dock just about to go up for Riut in any second now. This builder just waiting for the resources for that third dock to go up. Yellow just getting his second up right now. But that sneak villager could make a huge difference, but he's going to run into another wolf, and that is bad news. He needs to make sure he gets the hill advantage here. He needs to react quickly. And oh man, looks like Riut's going to see it. That is unlucky. Oh man, that is so unlucky. Yellow there with the sneak would have been able to pull it off, but Riut finding him out, and that is GG to the sneak. 1 villager down does mean that Riut is going to be ahead. Three galleys coming out at a time right now. Yellow a little bit less efficient during the Dark Age, with that villager going off doing doing a big massive adventure, walling off on the left hand side, and also spending a lot of time taking extra food rather than wood meant that Yellow actually only has 3 fishing ships right now, as Riut has the 4. So it's not looking so great for Yellow at this stage, though he does have a score advantage, which is interesting. Riut, though, not really scouting Yellow's side. Yellow does seem to have a lot more scouting at this stage of the game. And micro right now going to become so crucial. Yellow, though, with a transport ship, looks like that's going to get spotted straight away. Very unfortunate for Yellow right there. He's going to give the water up by looks of things straight off. Well, no, never mind. He's continuing to make galleys, but he's not going to be able to get that third dock up very easily. However, he is pulling off the transport, moving that transport ship over to the right-hand side. Riut did see it, though, so he's probably going to expect that to be happening. But this is a huge deal. Losing the water this early on usually only means one thing. It does usually mean the game. And Yellow is going to be in for an extremely tough time right now if he doesn't manage to take the water back at some point. However, villagers are being sent across. Looks like Riut's patrolling, though, with his scout. And that does mean that if these villagers do get across and start setting up, Riut may be pretty well alerted to this. Oh man, look at that. Looks like Yellow was about to send it straight towards that scout then. I actually thought he was going to land on this peninsula. Going to land down here instead. Just escaping Riut's scout. Oh, never mind. Going to keep going around. So far, though, just escaping Riut's scout. But you got to remember, Riut did see that transport ship. I'm sure he saw it. There's no way he couldn't have seen it. And well, he's seen the landing now. Anyway, so Yellow doesn't look like he's going to have an easy time landing this at all. Riut just going to keep his scout on that coastline, keeping an eye out for it. Barracks going up as well. just to make sure, of course, that he can defend if any of those villagers do successfully land. And Riut now continuing galley production, but, you know, he could very easily add in some fishing ships at this stage, as that extra food income will aid him in getting up to the castle age a little bit faster. Archery range down for yellow, though. And I didn't actually see his barracks. It's back here. Yeah, archery range going to go down. Riut, is he prepared? Well, yes, archery range going up for him as well. Or archery range going up for both of them, not down. Archery range going up. And yeah, we'll probably see some archers, skirmishers coming out. Doesn't really matter at this stage. He will be able to defend by the looks of it. I think possibly over compensating on the water here. Of course, he doesn't know how many docks yellow, or how many galleys yellow has. He actually has 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. Attempting to put up a third dock. Not going to happen at all. And Riut now does know exactly what is going on. Looking to take out those villages where he can. And it's interesting, you know, because all of the games we've seen so far, both of them have been doing like massive villager fights. It's just so fun to see. Riut, though, going to try and wall this archery range in. It's a good idea. Does mean that, of course, any units that come out of there are going to be absolutely useless to yellow. And Riut just going to keep walling that in right now. Aiming to do what he can with these villagers, but no, he's got 2 archery ranges up. He could be adding in some skirms, adding in some archers of his own very easily, no problem whatsoever. At this stage, he could be throwing away a couple of villagers here if he just keeps them in the fray. But a little bit of aid from the water right there, going to help things out a little bit. And I think Riut's going to be absolutely fine here by the looks of things. Not managing to wall this archery range in though, which is kind of funny. I thought he'd be able to do it, but he's got to go all the way around right now. But either way, Riut right now sitting on the water, pretty uncontested. But that third dock for yellow is going up, and yellow is continuing that galley production. He is going to make a push straight for those fishing ships. He needs to negate that advantage that Riut has. And yellow is a very smart player. I mean, he is playing very smart. That last game, he played very smart. This game, alright, his landing wasn't so successful. Riut going to be able to push him away with the archers, but he's still a pretty smart player, of course, continuing that galley production, trying to go for Riut's fishing ships right here, but just not able to pull it off at this stage. Third dock is up though, and he's continuing that galley production. Riut though, going to wall this up, not a problem for him. Yellow looks like he's going to end up losing this archery range, which is really his only hope at this stage of taking the game back. Riut still on the 3 docks, still creating 3 galleys at a time, and I don't know how yellow at this stage is actually going to take the water back. He really just needs to get that 4th dock up perhaps, or start to micro and out micro Riut. We have a look, 14 ships for Riut right now, 13 for yellow, so it is very close, and Riut just lost one, so it's now completely even. Looking to see who can micro the best right here. Looks like Riut has got a slight advantage in his micromanagement. Starting to move backwards and forwards, but getting caught out slightly there. Come on, man, you need to actually micro well in order to do this. Looks like he's going to be doing a reasonable job. They are fairly neck and neck still, but it's amazing, really, that Yellow's managing to get himself back into it so well. Looking to take out as many galleys as he can, and they're both microing their asses off here just to try and get some kind of advantage. Riut, though, doing pretty well indeed right here. Very close still on the water. No one really getting an advantage, a real advantage. But I think the issue right here is that Riut will be up to the castle age in just a moment's time. He's still got 4 fishing ships gathering food for him. He's got a few farms up as well, and he has been taking those deer. So he is about to click up to the castle age in just a second's time. And that, of course, is going to mean war galleys, and war galleys are very difficult to fight against when you've only got galleys on the map. Of course, once the bodkin arrow upgrade is researched, then they're going to outrange them massively, and it's just so tough to deal with that. I really think that if Yellow here had just gone all out on the water, he would actually be ahead, because he's done a really good job of micromanaging these galleys. He's done a great job of keeping his galley production going whilst doing an attack as well on the land. And Yellow, I feel like if he'd have just gone all out on water, he might have come out on top here. Losing a few ships though, and gonna have to go back. But this is a real problem for him. He's very far from castle right now. If you have a look at his eco, he's had to build so many farms as well. There's a lot of farms down for him right there. Riut, just the 3 farms, and that's the difference that these fishing ships have been able to make, really enabling him to start to pull ahead. So right now, Yellow is in a little bit of a disadvantageous position, looking to get that 4th dock up though. Continuing to try and make galleys from, well, continuing to make galleys. 4 docks, of course, better than 3. Riut, though, already with the 4, and he has got quite a few archers out as well. Gonna make a transport right now over to the other side of the map, and that could be pretty bad news for Yellow, actually. Archers into his base, gonna be horrible. He has actually no archery range or anything to defend back here. Not only that, but Riut's about to hit castle, which can mean, of course, that the crossbow upgrade can be done. Also means that War Galley will be done and Bodkin Arrow. So it's going to tie in very nicely for Riut right here. It looks like he's going to wait for that Castle Age upgrade before he sends the transport over. That makes a lot of sense, because as soon as Riut gets castle, Yellow will probably try and retreat a little bit. Either that or go in. He's actually going to go in. Wow. Okay, he's just going to go for it. He's going to try and do the damage while he can before the upgrades come in for Riut here. War Galley at 25% already. No crossbow upgrade just yet, but he can afford it. And where's the blacksmith? I have no idea, but blacksmith Bodkin Arrow coming up as well. Yellow then, yeah, going to end up having to retreat right here. Running away, and that is when Riut's going to send the transport over, and this could be devastating for Yellow. Of course, gonna lose this dock right here. Not a problem for Riut, of course. War Galley is completed. Bodkin Arrow is completed, and we'll probably see crossbow coming in a moment too. Yeah, there it is, 10%. And Riut makes the landing. Siege Workshop going down with that villager, and that is an excellent idea. Gonna be able to get out some mangonels, do some huge damage with them, and right now Riut is in a great position, luring Yellow back to the shoreline where they're going to get cut down by the War Galleys. And you know it's bad news when you're having to pull villagers off of wood to fight crossbows. They're getting absolutely shut down. And Yellow in this position, what can he do? He's about 80% up to castle, 85 perhaps. But it's too late for him to really react. He needs to throw down an archery range, start making some crossbows. He needs to throw down a siege workshop. But he's still feudal, so he can't do that. And that is just terrible for him. Gonna get caught out by these galleys as well by the looks of things. Running into the shoreline, and oh man, Riut's gonna get a huge amount of damage here. Running straight into that, and Yellow gonna get cut down by the handful. He's gonna lose these galleys so quickly. Really well positioned by Riut right there. Mangonel should be coming out for him as well right here. Yes, a Mangonel indeed. And look at that score lead, 1,200 points in the advantage right here. Yellow with 3 docks over on the left-hand side, trying to get back on the water, but I don't know if it's going to be worthwhile at this stage to get back on the water when your opponent is knocking at your economy, at your door with mangonels and siege. So Riut right now, I think he should put an archer range up right here. He's got cover from the water, so going to be pretty able to do that. Going to be fairly uncontested, but he's actually going for a stable. I suppose that's not too bad. Making knights, not a bad decision at all. And interesting, Yellow actually going for a scorpion right here. Not so bad, I suppose. Same range as a crossbow, but not going to do so much damage as a mangonel. But of course, it is a little bit cheaper. So Riut now, he's got a lot of resources in the bank. He can afford a lot more siege. Looks like he's going to go for knights though right here. Could send another transport over, continuing that crossbow production. And if we have a look at his ships, he doesn't actually have careening yet, so going to have to be ferrying a few more units back and forth. And Yellow, this just shows you how the state of his economy at the moment. He has gone for War Galley, but he doesn't have the Bodkin Arrow upgrade. Trying to make a push in, and we'll have a look at the numbers. 28 for Riut and 23 for Yellow. He's still outnumbered. Perhaps waiting for Bodkin Arrow to engage. Oh, and lucky Riut on that villager there. Yellow, oh, Yellow, what are you doing? You should have just gone for the villager. He could have killed it, but nope, not going to happen. Riut, though, knights coming out right now, and that's going to deal with those mangonels extremely easily. Transport going over for Riut. Is he going to get caught out? I don't know. Looks like Yellow not going to focus that transport down. Riut making the realization there. Crossbows going across once again. Knight's coming up as well. And Riut right now should be able to deal with this navy from Yellow once again fairly easily, because he does have the numbers he needs. He has got +2 attack. Riut does not. Yellow does not. Oh man, very close on the onagers, on the mangonels right there. Riut gonna get taken down by the villagers, but there's the GG from Yellow. And I think after losing that navy, he really did realize how far ahead Riut was right there, almost 2,000 in score ahead. And Riut made pretty short work of Yellow on that map. I really, as I said before, feel that Yellow could have actually taken the water quite comfortably there. He still had a really good fighting chance on the water, even after losing it so quickly in the beginning. Really unlucky with the landings. Riut, though, showing that he has got very good map awareness, able to spot those landings, keep that scout patrolling around, making sure, of course, that nothing gets landed in the back of his base. Preparing very well with the archery ranges, and pushing straight back over to Yellow's base, where he had absolutely nothing to defend with. So very well played by Riut indeed. I still feel like these guys are so close. Yellow, I think he could have done it if he'd have just played that one slightly differently and not gone for a landing straight away. But either way, an exciting game nevertheless. And that was game number 3. Going to go to game number 4 in just a moment's time, so don't go anywhere.